Welcome guys to Easty and the Wolf. We are in a Formula A. A being the number one letter. I guess they don't use Formula 1 because it's licensed out to, is it Codemasters who do the Formula 1 games? And you know Bernie Ecclestone from FIA Formula 1 is a greedy little guy. Probably building his Moria caves in the Misty Mountains with all his money. So this is Silverstone Gp track, and it's certainly the pinnacle of smooth driving in this car. Very, very touchy at slow speeds, and when you get the power on, it moves fast and it turns fast. It's because it has a lot of downforce with its aerodynamic spoilers and wings and things. There's a couple of things brought over because it's actually just a copy of the Formula 1 car, so if you are familiar with Formula 1, you know about the KERS system. It's basically just a motor connected to the drivetrain which spins when you brake, and I'm just taking it real easy at the moment because it's hard to talk and even drive this car. It takes so much concentration. Yeah, so when you brake, it regenerates and it charges, I think it charges like a flywheel, spins a flywheel up, or it puts electricity in a battery, one of them, I don't know 100% how it works. And then you can use that electricity to actually drive, I think it's like 16 horsepower, into the car at any point in time you please to give you a little bit of extra power. Now it's represented by this little bar, so you can, I don't know if you can see the bar down there with a little electric symbol on. If I press the button, it will start to deplete, and you only get so much of that in your lap. Because this is a time trial, every lap is supposed to be exactly the same, so you can't cheat or anything. I mean, obviously you can get a little bit of run into the lap, like here, going into the lap. If you get the best run out of the previous lap, it's going to help you because you're going across the start line at a faster pace. And so that's the KERS system. We also have the DRS system in Formula 1, which we also have in this car. And I've been driving slow, buddy, that's very, very rather hot. So the DRS is basically a change in the aerodynamic configuration from the ideal for cornering is to have the maximum downforce. Now downforce is resistance. If you can imagine holding an umbrella out in the wind, that's pretty much what you're doing when you're creating downforce. So for the high speed sections, you're creating a lot of resistance. The aerodynamics are both to create downforce and to reduce the resistance the car cuts through the air. Now what DRS does is it allows them to have moving parts in the, I think it's in the tail wing, I'm not 100% sure. So there's a part of the, one of the aerofoils in the tail wing actually moves up and down, so it changes the resistance, changes the airflow over that, so in the straights you don't have as much downforce, but you have a lot less resistance. Now in Formula 1 there's only certain parts of the track you're allowed to use that, and if you try and enable it in a corner, you will see what the downforce is doing for your driving. I'll just try and drive around the track, so you can assign it to a key. So I've just turned it on now. So down a straight it's fine, but if I come into the first corner and I leave DRS on, because I don't have the downforce I'm used to, we'll just spin out basically. And sometimes I press it but it doesn't disable, I don't press it properly. And I wonder what happens when the car just spins out, and that's basically what it is. Okay, I'll try and commentate over one of my laps here, just so you can see what I'm thinking as I go round. First corner's blind, so you really want to learn where it is and just clip it, not too much, so you can stay close. And you can do it full out once you learn where it is. Here you want to look for that 50 sign, aim for it, get down into third and try and make this corner as wide, as long as possible. Get wide into second, just clip this apex and just straighten up as early as possible and get through second and third so you don't spin it out. Here's a great place to use that DRS and KERS. Blast down the straight. Now for this corner you want to look for that last sign, kind of aim for it, and as soon as you hit it, get down into third, cuddle this corner, get back on the power a bit and then brake. And then you want to look, this is a really everlasting corner, you want to look for that track out. As soon as you see it, get on the power, not too early on there because the camber will make you spin out in third. Blast down here again, if you've got your KERS, use a little bit, use a DRS. Here I just kind of hover the curve, knock it into 6. It ends where I just normally run onto that curb, it's really nice. Full out through here, you want to really turn into these corners early, and so it doesn't throw you out like that. Down into 4th here, as you get through, blast out again, get that DRS on. You probably won't have any KERS left at this point. This corner you want to aim right for the apex and get it down into 5th, not too much braking. I always do too much braking, more than I need. If you do, get it into 4th, it'll save you a little bit. Just past the 100 sign here, on the brakes, aim for the corner, into 2nd. Turn hard in here, you really want to straighten this corner up as much as possible so you can get through 2nd and 3rd without spinning it. Again, use your DRS if you can into the main straight to see what it'll do. So on this time trial, I think you've only got a day left, so it's not long to play on this. In Project Cars, it's basically Silverstone Gp and the Formula A car. Good thing about this setup is there's not a lot of places you can really gain by cutting the track. Not what I know of anyway. I'm sure the opportunist out there will find ways to get an extra 10 seconds or so, which is crazy, than the rest of the people. But it seems pretty good that I have run off a couple of times by accident and I get penalised straight away. Even places like I just put my tyre up on the curb a bit too high. So I actually prefer that. I'd rather have less track than have places where it's just unrealistic, where the car would get damaged or something. It's much better to have a higher, stricter envelope of where you can drive, I think. So saying that, I could try and do a couple of fast laps. My fastest time at the moment is 1:37.556. Now when I started doing this, I didn't use KERS or DRS. I think it would be silly if you're learning the track, learning the car, just ignore them completely. They offer such a minimal advantage that the fact you're going to be trying pressing buttons and looking at when it shouldn't be is really going to take your mind off exactly where you should be placing the car, and you're getting on the power, and you're really going to be driving on the edge in this to try and get good times. And I mean, you get the car spinning, this car does not drift at all, so if you do get it out of place, you really struggle. Like you see there, I'm just in 2nd, trying to get the power down and it nearly went. You really struggle to get it back again. So I'll try and do some fast laps, because I'm going to have to try and be concentrate. It's very difficult to talk and really focus. Okay guys, okay, there I got a 1:36.93, so we are in a day-long competition from Project Cars where the tops is 1:27, so I'm almost 10 seconds behind that. Makes you feel really slow, but what can you do? Oh, so place 205, it's not too bad. So 1:36.935. And people probably won't have a time to play this because it's in 2 hours it ends, but you can obviously just go to custom and create the GP Silverstone and choose the Formula A car and just see how you do. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, it's incentive for me to make more, and I'll see you, and the Wolf will see you on the next one. Thank you very much.